Game day's here, I can hear the crowd. Turn on the lights, fans are cranked up and loud. Red or blue, we wear it proud. Yeah, we love our teams in this border town. Chiefs and Royals, Boo Mizzou, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Hear that drum pounding in your feet. Yeah, you're marching to the beat of KC.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? What is going on, Jayhawk Nation? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and Jayhawk Nation, I feel like I have to do this video. I feel like I have to address the product that we saw on the field on Saturday in the Sunflower Showdown against the Kansas State Wildcats. I mean, I literally sat there after the game and thought to myself, what did I just watch? What did I witness? What product, what motivation, what coaching leading up from the bye week into this game did we see that signified any type of preparation? I mean, we're going to dive in, but the fact that the Kansas State Wildcats came into David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium, a renovated stadium, welcoming all kinds of fans. Granted, the weather was not very good, but there was a ton of fans in support, really from both sides. And the fact that the Jayhawks were defeated 42-17 in their house, 42-17, they absolutely steamrolled you. And the fact that they didn't have their starting running back, the fact that really somewhat of their element of their game wasn't just fully there because of the weather. There's just so many things that I just want to really kind of talk about and dissect. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to jump in. There were some positives. I don't want to say this entire game was a complete negative. Laith Marjan is an absolute monster at kicking the football, ladies and gentlemen. He set a record for the Kansas Jayhawks. I believe it was 11 or 12 consecutive field goals. I mean, Laith Marjan is a very positive, shining piece to this Kansas program. But we'll jump in and we'll talk about this. So obviously, the Dillon Sunflower Showdown on October 25th in Lawrence, Kansas just did not go the way Kansas fans really were anticipating. It was a sellout crowd, although the weather really kind of hindered some of that. There were some open seats, obviously, due to the fact that the weather just was abysmal. I really think that the idea of this Sunflower Showdown, how do I want to say this? Motivation, the hype that comes with this is built up leading up to this from not only the fan bases, but I truly believe that there is a rivalry amongst these two teams. Like, yes, Kansas and Missouri despise each other, but it's the same can be said for the Kansas State Wildcats and the Kansas Jayhawks. So Kansas, out the gate, gets started in a massive way. As a Kansas fan, you're thinking, let's go. Like, there's a forced fumble on the kickoff, and you're like, man, we're in the red zone. We're within the 10-yard line. This is going the way it should be going. Kansas is the better team on paper. You were seeing that. And obviously, Dylan Daniels gets to the point. He runs the football, and once again, granted, it was counted as a touchdown, and it would give the Kansas Jayhawks a 7-0 lead, but Jalen Daniels, for whatever reason, cannot figure out how to hold on to the football, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the ball popped out. It was reviewed. Very questionable if he crossed the line, and the ball was recovered by Kansas State. The referees would decide that he did cross the line before the ball popped out. And like I stated, the Jayhawks would take a 7-0 early lead in the first quarter. This is where it started to just almost like dismount. It's almost like the Kansas State Wildcats got punched in the mouth and were like, we're going to laugh at you. The Kansas State Wildcats would answer vigorously. A 7-play, 82-yard drive that would immediately tie the game. Then the Jayhawks just let the mishaps start to happen. A fumble on a punt snap was returned by Kansas State, putting them up immediately 14-7. And then the fact that our offense just started sputtering and sputtering and sputtering. Throwing the football was just inept. Running the football, they knew if you couldn't throw the football, you were going to try to run the football. And they were prepared for that. It just was not functioning the way it should. They would add, and when I say they, the Wildcats would add a 27-yard passing touchdown to go into the second quarter ahead 21-7, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's a shock and awe moment. Like, I really anticipated the Jayhawks being in this game. I really anticipated that it would be a tight game, even with the rain, even with the these two teams, how it was going to play out. I really anticipated that this game was going to be close. In a market that never sleeps, one name rises above the rest. Lisa Miller from Dan Lynch Real Estate. Trusted by hundreds and recognized across the Midwest. She delivers results when it matters the most. With over 13 years of experience and licenses in both Kansas and Missouri, Lisa isn't just selling houses. She's helping you find a place to call home. Whether you are a first-time home buyer, looking to upsize, or selling your current home, Lisa makes the process smooth and stress-free. As a local expert passionate about building lasting relationships, she ensures her clients feel confident and satisfied every step of the way. Don't wait, your perfect home is just a call away. Contact Lisa today at 913-5646 or 913-3000 or visit lisamillersellskc.com. Let Lisa Miller at Lynch Real Estate help you start your next exciting chapter. And let her know the beat of KC, Lucas Murphy, sent you her way. Kansas would mount a response before halftime. They built some momentum. They started actually having success running the football. Obviously Daniel Highshaw really stepped up in a big way. He capped an 18-play, 85-yard drive with a 2-yard run. I mean, you could tell like he was entering his beast mode mentality the way he entered that end zone. He hit the initial line, was stopped, kept turning, and fell into the end zone. Highshaw really ran pretty significantly in this game, and I do have to give him props for that. In the third quarter, Kansas State would extend their lead. They converted an interception into a 1-yard TD run, a turnover, 28-14. Kansas responded with a 47-yard field goal in the rain. Again, we're talking about an absolute stud in Laith Marjan. That would make the game 28-17. That would be the end of Kansas scoring, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. The rest of this is going to be Kansas State. Kansas State sealed the game with a final touchdown, 3-yard run following a turnover on downs, which accounted for the final margin of the game. And it got to the point where Daniels was removed. They put in Cole Ballard. That did not improve. And it got to the point where Kansas State was just subbing in their backups. It was an abysmal showing, ladies and gentlemen. Kansas State outgained Kansas 371 yards to 247 yards. That's on the cusp of having a 6-year senior. Everybody before this game was talking about that being a difference, and the underclassmen outperformed the 6-year senior. Kansas State's passing yards was 231 to Kansas's 137. We could not get the ball rolling in the pass game. And at some point, the rain lightened up, and it really wasn't a true factor because that's also the same time when Kansas State started throwing the football. Kansas State would also rush 140 yards without their starting running back to Kansas's 110. And the time of possession again favored Kansas State approximately 32-40 to Kansas's 27-20. Now some individual standouts. Jalen Daniels was 17 of 35 passing, ladies and gentlemen, 129 yards, 1 interception. He did rush 44 yards and had a rushing touchdown, which we talked about. To me, as a 6-year senior playing in probably the biggest Big 12 game of the season against your rival, that's the performance you put up. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about that. Daniel Highshaw, 67 rushing yards on 19 carries and a rushing touchdown. Again, I think a pretty solid performance. Cam Pickett, 6 receptions for 40 yards. Really on the defensive side, Blake Harreld had 7 tackles, a pass breakup. Bengali Kamara and Trey Lathan did their things, ladies and gentlemen. Bengali Kamara and Trey Lathan are the absolute shining light on this defense. Each had 5 tackles. With this loss, Kansas falls to 4-4 overall and 2-3 in the Big 12 play. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the season is over. It is over. You have 2 more wins you have to obtain in order to get a bowl game. And at that point, you obviously play Oklahoma State in this next game, a very good chance you can win that football game. But at this point, the product we saw on Saturday, I question whether we can even beat an Oklahoma State. And the reason is because they're just so much more in-depth. I feel like there was a lot of preparation issues. I feel like there's a lot of coaching issues in this. You don't get absolutely destroyed by a team that you are better on in paper. Granted, they have a lot of things that they were working on. And in K-State, they were obviously building momentum. They started off very slow. They had to figure things out. They are a full steam locomotive right now, ladies and gentlemen, and they're playing very, very good. They passed you up. They are the better team now. So Kansas, again, is looking to get to a bowl game, but they are 2-3 in the Big 12 play. The hopes and dreams of even making the Big 12 championship completely gone. Your only hope now is to get to a bowl game. So like I stated, they will host Oklahoma State on Saturday, November 1st. That is their homecoming game. It's just very interesting how this season has really kind of flipped the script. It's unfortunate that it's gone the way it has. I'm not the type of person. I think Lance Leipold has really done good things for this program. I really, truly believe that he's going to continue to take this program to where it needs to go. But the reason why I feel like I'm so upset and so many fans are upset is the fact that this was the year that you should have beat the Kansas State Wildcats. This was the year that you really had things working for you in a very good, positive, momentum type of way, and you let it slip away. Now, you didn't let it slip away. You got belt to you-know-what inside Lawrence. I mean, it was unreal, the showing that this Kansas team put out there. Just mental mistakes. I mean, there was so many things that this Kansas team just did wrong. And that's where I think, they could have been more prepared, if you want to say it that way. I think one of the biggest things, too, is Kansas had more penalties, more penalty yards. One of the positives is we had more first downs, but it's also because we were having to really kind of fight there at the end to even get anything, to salvage anything. So we had to convert more third downs. We had to convert a fourth down, although they did more of that. And again, time of possession was us. I'm shocked and awe, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. And when I typically do these videos, I feel very confident. I feel very excited. This one, I just was not overly thrilled and felt like I needed to do this just for my sanity and also for a lot of Kansas Jayhawk fans out there who still enjoy and I'll continue to do, obviously, football. That just because of a loss, it's not like it's going away. But it hurts. It hurts the heart. It hurts as a fan. That's just how it is. So I appreciate you all. Let me know in the comment section, how did you manage to handle this game, this whooping that we received? And are you prepared to take on an Oklahoma State team and hopefully get to a bowl game? Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.